brand new Polestar 3. Yeah, I know, it looks exactly the same as the old Polestar 3, but underneath, it's apparently a brand new car. It has faster charging, better range, smarter tech. Therefore, it's bringing us another very strong contender to the electric SUV market. It's true, electric SUVs have really found their mojo recently. The new BMW iX3 actually shames petrol cars with its 500-mile range. The physics-bending Porsche Cayenne electric is genuinely better to drive than some ICE alternatives, and now the Polestar 3 has returned with a significant technical overhaul. Can it keep up the momentum, or will it let the side down? So, what are the changes to Polestar's flagship SUV? Let me show you. Oh, hang on, no, there's nothing to show you. Nada. Not a sausage. There are no upgrades to the exterior anyway. And in fact, if you were to check the spec sheet, you might be horrified to discover that there are in fact downgrades. The new version has a smaller battery than the old version, and the range has taken a backward step. Polestar has ditched the old 438-mile long-range model, which means the maximum range you can get with a Polestar 3 is 394 miles. That's over 100 miles less than the BMW iX3. And that feels strange because, as proven by the surge of interest in the new iX3, a big range really does help to drive up the orders. Anyway, we shall revisit the range chat in just a little bit, because before that there is one big improvement to mention versus the old 3, and that is performance. With its new electric hardware, the updated 3 dual motors output jumps by 10% to 536 brake horsepower, meaning its 0 to 62 sprint takes just 4.7 seconds. And this 2.6-ton Brute will keep on powering to an Autobahn-worthy 140 miles per hour top speed. That, if you're wondering, isn't just 3/10 and 10 miles per hour better than the old dual motor. It's also just about enough to pip the BMW iX3 for performance credentials, both off the line and flat out. Woohoo! This thing really shifts. You can definitely tell it has more power than the iX3. The acceleration is quicker, not by huge amounts, but there's definitely a bigger kick in the back, if that's what you're into. And that is what I'm into. Polestar says the new dual motor setup is more rear biased in power delivery. That's not something most people will feel on their day-to-day commute, but if you're the type of person that takes pleasure from driving, then you'll enjoy the way this car powers its way out of the bends. And speaking of the bends, it's not bad there either. It's got new anti-roll bars and a different steering system designed to make the handling sharper. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a big, chunky family SUV, but it does feel sporty and compact. It doesn't embarrass itself in the corners, and I'm not sure it's crazy fun. It does weigh 2.6 tons at the end of the day, but it's certainly not unpleasant. And when you do decide to slow down a bit, you'll be pleased to hear that the Polestar 3 does a nice job with potholes and uneven roads too. It's got a dual chamber air suspension, and that makes a big difference. The BMW iX3 doesn't have that, so it's a little bit more fidgety over bumps sometimes, but this is really smooth. You can tell that the ride quality has been improved. It has 22-inch wheels, which certainly doesn't help, but the suspension does a really good job of dialing out any big impacts. The other big improvement to the Polestar 3 is the new 800-volt architecture. Think of it as being able to provide more electrical pressure through the cables, so everything happens faster, including charging. This dual motor's 106 kWh lithium-ion battery can charge at up to 350 kilowatts. That's a whole 100 kilowatts better than the old 400-volt Polestar 3, enabling a 10 to 80% charge in just 22 minutes. It's by no means the fastest charging car on the market. The BMW iX3, for example, can charge at 400 kilowatts, but that's pretty irrelevant given that most of our ultra-rapid chargers charge at 350 kilowatts. So for now, the Polestar's real-world charging capabilities are on par. Back to the topic of design. Again, not much has changed.
It seems that the Polestar team was so focused on the tech upgrades for the 3, they forgot to refresh its exterior. But the lack of front grille up front means this design looks as fresh as ever, and its overall silhouette is sleeker and more elegant than the iX3's. I don't mind this shade of magnesium paint either.
Now, considering this car has a very sleek, sporty roofline, you'd think that there would be not an awful lot of headroom, but there's ample. And as for legroom, look, it's like a limousine back here. It's very nice, aesthetically very pleasing. I do have one big gripe though. Considering that it'll be mostly children back here, it is going to get filthy fast. Passengers have their own climate control and heated seats, plus 2 USB ports and ample storage, including fold-down armrest and cup holders. Not bad.
The Polestar 3 has never had the largest boot in the class, but it's not a shameful amount either. 484 litres of space is certainly going to be plenty for most families, even if the iX3 offers 520. But you do also get a front boot in the Polestar 3, which is a pretty handy space to stash your charge cables.
As before, the Polestar 3, the cabin is a very nice place to be. Certainly feels and looks very sophisticated, very premium. The seats are really comfortable and they're multi-adjustable, so you can make yourself feel right at home. There are plenty of creature comforts and ample storage, particularly in this central unit here. You've got a good sized storage area here. You've got cup holders here, which can be hidden away with a flap, and then another large cubby underneath. There's 2 USB ports down here and then a wireless charging pad with a cooling vent system to stop your phone from overheating.
Tech really is one of this car's strong points, because with that new supercomputer brain, the NVIDIA Drive AGX Orin processor, if you're wondering, processing power jumps from 30 trillion to 254 trillion operations per second, which is an impossible to imagine number.
That quicker brain has benefited the 3's infotainment system, which looks exactly the same as it did before, but it is much, much more responsive. It remains a 14.5-inch Android-based system with plenty of Google apps like Maps and YouTube. However, the climate controls are still in the screen, so they're a little bit fiddly to use. But the system still feels very high grade and is very much suited to the conditions here. You certainly don't feel shortchanged.
One of the real upsides with the faster tech is the improvement in the car's active safety systems, which can now make decisions 8 times faster. When the Pilot Pack is added as an option, it includes a Pilot Assist feature that helps to keep the car centred in the lane on the motorway, as well as an enhanced lane change assist system that can safely switch lanes for you when you request it via the indicator stalk. And it works very well.
Right, let's talk about efficiency and range again. At the start of this video, I told you that the Polestar 3 has a smaller battery than before. Now that doesn't really help its case, but it doesn't necessarily hurt its case either. All the new updates mean the car on paper is 6% more efficient than before. So what you lose in battery size, you make back in efficiency for the most part.
And there's lots of little tricks this car has to eke out the range. Even though this dual motor car has 2 motors, it's usually only the back motor that's doing the work. The front motor basically disconnects itself, so the battery only has to power one motor. Plus, cars with an 800-volt architecture tend to be lighter than their 400-volt counterparts too, due to lighter cables.
Of course, you can also do your bit to extend your range. As before, the Polestar 3 has different levels of regen adjustment, so you can choose how much the car slows down when you lift off the pedal. And there's one pedal drive mode, which means you barely need to use the brake. You just take the foot off and the car will slow down. So there's 2 different modes as well. You can have it in medium mode, which is pretty smooth, or you can have it high, and that's very strong. So, what's what's the verdict on this new Polestar 3? Honestly, this dual motor car is genuinely brilliant. It's quick, it's comfortable, and it's fun to drive as well. Plus, its faster charging speeds and all-round tech upgrades make it feel properly premium. Against alternatives like the Mercedes EQE SUV and the Audi Q6 e-tron, it feels really strong on paper and on the road.
Having said that, we're slightly disappointed that they didn't upgrade the exterior design at least a little bit, and the loss of the long-range model might put some people off. The BMW iX3, with its 500-mile range, has arrived with a bit of an open goal, at least as far as range is concerned.
But despite that, the Polestar 3 really is a car worth considering. It's brilliant to drive, it's really well put together, and with all these upgrades, it's a smarter purchase than ever before.